Welcome back. A special dress designed by elementary school students will be on display at the Indiana State Museum. This after the dress was worn by a former Indiana Teacher of the Year when she visited the White House. That teacher, Katie Porcho, joins us for Unfiltered. Katie Porcho, thank you so much for joining us here for Unfiltered. So this dress has become pretty popular. Give us the backstory.
All right. So in 2019, I was named Indiana Teacher of the Year for the year 2020. And at that point, I knew I wanted my art students to go with me somehow on this journey. So as an art teacher to, at the time, pre-K to second grade students, I invited them to help design clothing that I would wear. So I could essentially become a walking art gallery and I would wear their artwork on me.
So, okay, so they designed the dress, and then you wind up winning Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, by the way. And we should say that you were in Danville at the time. You're no longer in that school district, but you were there for quite some time. You're here in Indianapolis now. And then you wind up wearing the dress to the White House, right?
Right. So one of my students, her name is Hadley Archer. She's at the time of the year 2019 and 2020, she was a second grader. She had this passion for fashion design. And so I had gotten talking with her. But then March 2020 hits, and then we all go home and do e-learning. So we began doing virtual calls, consulting calls, I called them. And we talked about concepts for the dress, and that I would be wearing this dress to the White House, that I'd be meeting the president in this dress, but we're representing the state of Indiana, but also our town of Danville. And so Hadley came up with this beautiful design that incorporated crisscross streets. It showed the town of Danville and then the city of Indianapolis.
Nice. And
then when we came back, we were all masked up, plexiglass everywhere, hand sanitizer, the works. We asked other students to help contribute elements of the design. So on the dress, you can see the IMS, you can see the Children's Museum, you can see Lucas Oil Stadium, and these were all designed and drawn by students, painted by students. And so when I walked onto the south lawn of the White House, I was wearing my students' work with me, and it was a way for them to use their visual voice and communicate from all the way from my classroom all the way to the White House.
When you were at the White House, did you get any comments on the dress?
Yes, quite a few. Yes. I had a short amount of time with the First Lady, and we took a big group picture with the president. But a lot of the staffers came up, and their faces would be full of joy, just lit up and asking questions. And every time I would wear kid-designed clothing, whether it was a dress or a pantsuit or a big gala gown, which the State Museum also has in its collection now, the faces of the adults just lit up. And it was almost as if they were being transported back to whenever they were children. Yeah. It was as if they were taken away from this world of busyness, to-do lists, and forced to stop and just enjoy this moment.
Mm-hmm. So cool, huh? That must be so gratifying. Hey, did you ever think when you wore that dress then that it would become so popular and be on display at the State House and now the Indiana State Museum?
It was a dream. So artists are big dreamers, right? And my students are bigger dreamers. And so as we were creating all of these different pieces, in the back of my mind, I was just thinking, how cool would it be if it could be on display, which art is meant to be on display and not in my closet. And how cool would it be for a second grader to be able to say, I have work at the museum?
Hey, I have a minute left, kind of related to this, but how important is keeping art in school? Because I know that there have been a number of school districts over the years that have gotten away from their arts program, but I think it's so important. And for something like this, I think this kind of underscores that.
Right. Truth, beauty, these are essential to what it is to be human. And so the arts, whether it is visual, painting, drawing, ceramics, photography, whether it's performance, music, these things are what help us to become human. It's where we not only express our thoughts, our feelings, which we have many after having gone through a pandemic, but also what we're learning too. So art in the classroom is a place for students to connect with their learning inside of their classrooms, whether it be with humanities or history, science, math, and then tying it all together with the arts.
There you go. So important. Katie Porcher, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again. I think it's fantastic what you've done and what you continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.